with Howard. Behind him, Johnny Church and Ian Saville. Well, Howard, of course, won the first, I think, 100-lap speed car race back at the showground in, I think it was the early 60s.
Whoa.
So, and Howard's still competitive.
And you're into your 20th year of commentary by then, and going very well.
Thank you. Here's a little pink thing to remember me.
Ready to go racing in the B main. Howard Revell on the inside, Phil Chilton on the outside. Revell gets the early jump, and he'll be the first one to cross the strike, and he'll take them into turn number 1. Phil Chilton in the newly painted out number 40 car is in second. 92, John Church is in third. 79, Ian Saville in third, followed by Adrian Marr in 86.
Looks pretty good here as they come off the fourth turn down the front straightaway, and the veteran Howard Revell out in front of Chilton. 92 is up into the third spot, Johnny Church, and he's looking for the transfer spot. 79, I think it is, or 97, Norm Jackson, just one spot back behind him. And Ian Saville also well positioned as they come down the front straightaway. No one's going to catch Revell. Chilton is locked up second. Church is the next one back, and right behind them was Ian Saville in the 79 car.
Yep, Revell certainly going like a bat out of hell at the moment into turns number 3 and 4. There'll be 5 laps remaining as they come down the main straightaway this time. In second place is 40, Phil Chilton. You talk about new cars, new paint jobs, etc., etc. 5, 6 out of the first 7 cars have all got new jobs, and 2 of those blokes are car number 3 and 15, Graham Whitney and Craig Neal respectively, who were going for a ride on the wild side down here on the front straightaway. Not quite sure which way they were going.
Well, Graham's gone off the racetrack twice here, and he keeps coming back onto it again. In number 3, he's got some major problems, and he's probably a lot safer on the track he's travelling on at the moment. In the meantime, Revell is clear. Out now by about 6 or 8 car lengths over Chilton. A good scrap going on for third, as you can see. John Church and Ian Saville, they're battling for third, but only 2 take the transfer spot in this. And they may well fight this out, because Chilton has run into a problem with the 40 car as they come down the front straight.
Yep, that he has, Phil Chilton. He'd be very, very annoyed with that. Obviously mechanical problems. But Howard Revell leads them. Who is going to fill this second place with 1 1/4 racing laps remaining? There goes Revell past the line. Second place at the moment is John Church. Right behind him is Ian Saville with Adrian Marr hot in pursuit. Marr could be the dark horse here as they rocket down the back straightaway. Forget the leader of Revell's one, and we're coming up on some slower traffic. Church is on the inside, on the outside Saville, and Ian Saville, the veteran, will take the second qualifying place going through into tonight's A main. Howard Revell, Ian Saville 1 and 2, and they will transfer. Third place is John Church. Fourth place, Adrian. And pop them out, as some of these boys have found out in the last couple of outings. And Bowen, obviously, after giving up the sprint cars, taking up the speed cars, has set his sights on Aussie title. January 1994, the venue, Parramatta City Raceway.
They come across the start-finishing line. Alan Day on the outside of the front row, and Paul Stanbrook in the 50 car. The black machine has the inside for the start of this race.
Looks like the pace car is heading back to the pit enclosure. The boys are coming around. 15 laps, brought to you by Solar Tent. The speed cars are ready to unleash, and let's get ready to rumble as they come round. And car number 74, Alan Day, is the first to take the green flag. Paul Stanbrook right behind, followed by Glenn Stewart. And look at the cast, ready to go fast. Rocket Rod Bowen's doing a bit of bar of bumping. As they go down the back straightaway, John Field was quick out of the gates. And Mark Brown is here, there and everywhere. Troy Jenkins, though, will bring out the amber. Jenko.
Yeah, he actually got into the side of Rod Bowen, or Rod actually, sure what happened to Gavin Lear, but he looked a chance there, but got it all out of shape in the bottom corner, and he's already gone back to the pit. So Alan Day to lead shows that doesn't want to run at this stage.
I think young Troy is parking it for the night, which is unfortunate.
Well, unless he just wants to get out on the racetrack and fire it, but or whether he's on his way back to the pits. Let's just wait and see. It hasn't fired as yet, so it may well be going back to the pit area.
Troy still thinks he can fire. He's signalling to the push car driver to fasten the pace somewhat. I think he's doing the best he can. It wouldn't be a lot of traction down there on the grass going through some of the corners.
Yeah, he's got it firing, so that's good.
And
Troy Jenkins.
Mama Jenkins.
So Troy is going to line up. He'll start up the back for being the cause of the hole. Day on the outside of the front row. 53 Glenn Stewart inside. And then Carnaby 9 Glenn Cox on the outside. John Field is the next one. Gavin Lear has disappeared. Mark Brown moves up to start out of position number 6. Bowen out of 7. Stephen Graham out of 8. Bob Woods will in fact start out of position number 10. Jenkins is back 2 rows, but probably won't suffer too much. It's probably been a bit of a bonus having a restart to this for him. Stanbrook tries to clap the pace on. Brown looks to pitch to the outside and run down the front straightaway, which he does. Stephen Graham does the same, and Bowen is caught up here 1 foot on the infield. Almost frightened Bobby Woods out, who stood it up on 2 wheels. They move onto the back straightaway. Look at Mark Brown. And now it's Stephen Graham, who's a little more cautious than Brown. Brown will range this lot up and have them for breakfast. Down the front straightaway, Day's doing a good job leading this. Brown is now up into second as they go to the bottom corner. God blimey. Rod Bowen loves throwing the tail at someone as he goes down the back straight. He's up to 4th now as Brown down the inside will take the lead. Bowen's putting 1 on Stephen Graham, but Graham, they'll need a bulldozer to get him off the low line.
Yeah. Oh, a bulldozer or a good shot by Right. Bowen bounces back a few places. Bob Woods and Troy Jenkins are both starting to make their presence felt. Woods is into the top 5 as Stephen Graham moves through to occupy position number 3. Alan Day remains in 3rd, although he's coming under increasing pressure from Bowen and the number 13 car of Bob Woods. Woods, Mr. Consistency, you will find. Bob's laps will not vary too much over the 15. Having a little bit of problem at the moment, though, with Alan Day. Troy Jenkins still trying to find his feet after starting rear of field. Oh, Mark Brown, something's wrong with the 22 car. What an awful shame that is. The young fellow is going so well. Race leader, our new race leader, is car number 14.
The yellow will come out.
Graham.
The yellow is out.
That it is, and that is a terrible, terrible shame for Mark Brown. The young Victorian who has been living in Sydney on a permanent basis, I guess, for the last 18 months, probably last 2 years, has all become a fair income Sydney. So just going to explain in Speedway terms what is actually wrong with the car. He's called for the tow truck. Something is busted in the rear end. Ian Saville, 40. This car, Phil Chilton, Glenn Stewart, followed by Adrian Marr. Ready to race, and Stephen Graham did not give anyone even the slightest chance at that start and has run away with it. The track looks nice and smooth down low, up to about half mid-track, and Stephen Graham will be very difficult to stop on a very, very smooth PCR surface. 450 metres is the distance from start to finish on 1 lap. And look at this, the first 3 have run away with it. Stephen Graham, Bowen on the outside. The yellow flag, I think, may come out. Yes, it will. We've got a car over the back, and that is Paul Stanbrook, car number 50.
They haven't seen it as yet down the front straight. Bob Woods hauls it in on the outside. Rod Bowen hasn't seen it either as they come down. Now they have.
Now this will make life interesting. Troy Jenkins, I think, will go back to position number 5 because he just passed Alan Day.
Just before the restart to that, and Bowen thumped Stephen Graham 3 times, trying to tell him to get on with it, and Graham said, absolutely no way, I'll dictate this. And Stephen Graham, beautiful looking race car, the 14 car, joining the Valvoline team. Now, watch this. Watch Bowen. Tap, 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 tap. Fair dinkum. Radar Bowen, they ought to call him.
And look at Stephen Graham, he's studded him again.
Why not?
Graham has flogged him.
No one could be that stupid to fall for it twice. But Graham went to sleep a couple of laps ago and ambled down the inside of the track and lost about a quarter of a lap. He just slowed up a little bit. Now he's got to stay on the gas here as they come across the strike with 8 laps to go. But look at Bobby Woods. He'll give the new bloke a nice working over if he gets alongside of him.
And I tell you what, Troy, the boys starting to lurk in the shadows. Jenkins has moved up to 4th, and Woods is on the inside, and Bobby says thanks for coming, Rocket. Moves through on the inside. So Woods, what a drive so far from position number 12. Bowen has a look back on the inside. Again, they touch wheels down the back straightaway. Woods has now set his sights on the 14 Valvoline car of Stephen Graham. Troy Jenkins yet to make a big impression on the top 3 here. Woods pitches it in very, very sideways going into turn number 1 and 2. The leaders are starting to come up on some of the slower traffic. This will prove vital.
Now Jenkins doing a good job here. He's clipped the infield, but he's up to 4th. I don't know whether he can go onto it from there, but only 5 to go. Stephen Graham will be a little on the cautious side. He's a very smooth driver. Bobby Woods has done a fabulous job, and Ronnie Bowen has done a pretty fair job himself too in the 75 car. There's Bob Woods, the 13 car, down the front straight. Gaining a little ground now on Stephen Graham, but the laps are running out. 3.5 still to run.
Yeah, Stephen Graham always drives a very cool, a very calculated race. They're starting to come up on some of the slower traffic. Bob Woods is closing. We've got 3 remaining. Oh, Woodsy up on 3 wheels. That wasn't the fast apex to the corner. Stephen Graham gains a little there. As they come in on some of the slower traffic, this is where the leaders will bunch. Bob Woods very, very quick and smooth through turns 3 and 4. Has had his fair share of problems in turns 1 and 2. And Woods is closing in. We've got 1.5 remaining. Stephen Graham on the inside of Paul Stanbrook, one of the lap cars. What can Bob Woods do? He's got about 500 metres of clay in between himself and the checkered flag. Stephen Graham goes up on the inside, and Graham could do that all night long on the inside. Down the back straightaway they go, and I don't think they're going to catch him as yet. Oh, Bobby Woods has got one last corner. He is not going to be able to do it. The winner of tonight's feature is Stephen Graham in car number 14. Not by much. Bobby Woods a very handsome 2nd. Rod Bowen 3rd, and Troy the Boy Jenkins a very handsome 4th.
It was a good race. Well done to Stephen Graham, who is very much the quiet achiever in the number 14 Valvoline car.
Ladies and gentlemen, drives the green and black 13 car, 2nd home in tonight's solar tent main event. I'd say that's the one in the middle for you. Bobby Woods drove hard. Put your hands together and acknowledge a fellow who really gives his all when it comes to racing.
Thank you very much. I'd like to congratulate Steve. I've been chasing him all night and I couldn't catch him. I think he's got youth on his side and I was puffing too much.
And tell us about Rod.
Yeah, well, he's an exuberant sort of a guy too. We had a good dice, so I was happy to get him.
Exuberant?
Yeah, I don't know what you'd say, but he's a very exciting guy to race with.
You never know what's coming next. Anyone you'd like to thank?
Yes, I'd like to thank Castrol, our sponsors, and Kevin Shan and my son Dean, and Ron Horrocks for helping me with the car, and my wife for putting up with us. Thank you very much for coming.
Good to see you, Woodsy. Bobby Woods, and we'll give... here comes Rod now, but in the meantime, come on, Steve-O. Step forward. Ladies and gentlemen, he's got an immaculate speed car, and I picked him tonight for the main. I think he's just sharper than he's ever been, and I think he's got an enormous future ahead of him. Stephen Graham, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very impressive winner in tonight's main event for Solar Tent.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. You know, we built the new car this year with a lot of help from John Sidney building us a chassis, and we picked up the sponsorship of Valvoline and Champion spark plugs, which makes my job a lot easier of driving the race car.
Steve, anyone you'd like to thank? You've just given Valvoline the necessary plug.
Yeah, other than Valvoline and Champion, I'd just like to thank my hard-working crew for all the hours they put in on the car.
Did you enjoy your racing tonight?
Yeah, I loved it. I like racing here at Parramatta. You know, there's a lot of tough competition there, and you really have got to work hard to win a race here.
That ain't a lie. Congratulations, you've got the plum prize tonight. Stephen Graham, ladies and gentlemen. 3rd to the checkered flag. We're doing it out of order. Watch no matter whether you're in a speed car or a sprinter. Ladies and gentlemen, Rod Bowen, the driver of car 75, picks up the hardware for 3rd.
Thanks very much, Steve. It's great to be back here racing. In the midgets, we always wanted to run a midget, and we've gone a long way about it with a compact and sprint car, but we're having a bit of fun. The club's different, to say the least, but we're having a bit of fun.
That's something we'd explore at another time. Would you like to tell us about the communication with Steve coming up to the restart?
Yeah, look, they've got this cone thing here, and the way I seen it done in America was that they give you a no-light situation. You know it's going to be a start rather than an orange light, and you don't know whether you're coming around the next time to get going. When Stephen came up, it looked to me like he accelerated, and then I thought, oh, beauty, we're going to go, and he was getting off the gas, and while he was getting off it, I was on it, and we just come together, but there's nothing intentional, you know, it's just the way it goes.
All right, you happy?
No, I'm not happy unless I win, you know. I tell you what, we're going to give this midget thing a big shake-up, and we're just going to try our best like we did in the sprint cars and the compacts, and they're going to know we're here.
Give us a smile. Rod Bowen, ladies and gentlemen. He certainly gives 10 tenths every time he's on the track.